Welcome to my Safe Gayven, everybody. Thank you guys so much for joining me here on a special review here on the Black Gay Comic Geek channel. If this is your first time coming to the channel, first of all, thank you so much for clicking on this video. Welcome. My name is Michael, the Black Gay Comic Geek. I love to talk about all things. I say the things I love about my fantasy has blood, sex, gore, magic, or any variation of the four. So I like to talk superheroes, comic books, horror, video games, anything that has blood, sex, gore, magic, or any combination. That's what I'm here to talk about. I also like to talk about queer representation and Black representation, or the lack thereof, in fantasy properties. So if that's something that you're interested in, hopefully you stay for the channel, check out my other videos and everything like that. But this is your first, second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh, eighth, millionth time coming here. If you guys could do me a favor, thank you again for watching the videos. You could do me a favor, hit that like button. It'll really help for the stream and the YouTube algorithm and everything like that. Guys, if you cannot tell, this is kind of a special format here that we're doing for the Eternals. I got my boy Ron from You Don't Read Comics. We usually I usually have him on when we go live, but not going live because this is a non-spoiler review for the Eternals. It's not out yet, so
wow.
People can't participate in the conversation because what you gonna really say? Like they didn't really see it. But yeah, Ron, introduce yourself really quick for everybody.
First off, I was really impressed the way you said Black Gay Comic Geek channel. That's like definitely a tongue twister.
Is it?
Like you couldn't say that 5 times fast.
I mean, I've said it so many times. Like Black Gay Comic Geek channel, 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 Black Gay Comic Geek channel. It's kind of, I messed up a little bit, but
yeah. Oh, okay. I'm Ron from You Don't Read Comics. I run a website that focuses on all the pop culture that comes out of comics, comic book reviews, editorials, opinion pieces, everything to do with comics. Me personally, I try to focus on Black comics. You can check me out on Instagram, the website itself, and Facebook.
Yeah, this guy's famous, guys. He getting retweeted by Image Comics. Did Marvel retweet you?
Only like 2 reviews so far, and I was in
you see how he's trying to only like.
I forgot I was in a free comic book day issue.
Well, yeah, Marvel not retweeting me. You talking about only 2 times? That's 2 times more than me. But yeah, guys, I wanted to have Ron on because it's been a while since we went live. I mean, we probably won't go live again until Hawkeye. So I was like, you know what? He and I took him to see Eternals with me. So I want to say first
he ain't buy me no popcorn, so don't date Mike.
Wasn't the popcorn? They didn't give out no free. Oh no, that was when I went to go see Dune with Frankie. They had free. They had free. She went to like an official. She got invited to an official. They had the like premiere. Yeah, they had like free popcorn. And I was like, man, when I get screened, I gotta pay for popcorn. But yeah. So yeah, I took him to see the Eternals. So I was like, you know what? Let me have you back on because yeah, you haven't been on in a while since we haven't gone live.
Before what it was Invincible, right?
Yeah, it was Invincible. And a couple people in the comments be like, "Where Ron at?" I'm like, "We ain't live." Like,
I be chilling, yo.
I might as well give you this channel. Like, you the new Black Gay Comic Geek. People asking for you. Gay. It's funny because I was gonna say gay in training. Like you get.
Yeah, I keep getting emails about like to review stuff about like gay stuff, and I'm like, that's not my lane. Maybe this stuff's supposed to go to Mike. It's funny.
They see you on my channel. They probably see you on my. They don't. Who am I? They don't see you. But they must see me in association with you. So they probably like, oh, he must be gay too. Gay adjacent.
Yeah.
But yeah, well, whatever. But anyway, guys. So yeah, we're gonna be, if you couldn't tell from the title of this video, we will be talking and giving our non-spoiler reviews or review for the Eternals. I repeat this for Ron, a non-spoiler review for the Eternals. And I'm gonna repeat this one more time, a non-spoiler review for the Eternals. It is not out yet for the general public.
Of Marvel, yo. He is scared.
They're not gonna invite me to another screener. And plus, you know, just for everybody watching the stream, they want to let them enjoy it for themselves because you love the spoil stuff.
Not only on stuff that I'm like,
I don't want the Disney snipers coming after me.
Yeah,
We
it's
already
usually
know
stuff that like I read the book on, so I want to compare it. Like this is not based much on much of anything. So it's kind of, a lot of this stuff is original ideas or just concepts from the Marvel universe, not really a specific story.
But yeah, so yeah, the movie comes out officially next week, November 5th, I believe, for the rest of you guys. So even though it's not out yet, if you are watching this non-spoiler review, hit me up in the comments. Let me know if you're excited about this movie. What do you think that this movie, like, you have any predictions and everything like that for this movie? Hit that like button, comment, interact for the algorithm. Now let's get this non-spoiler review going. Ron, I want you to go first. What did you think about the Eternals?
First off, Disney Marvel, they got some balls because like this, I think this is the first thing since Guardians of the Galaxy like was a property that like the average person didn't know about. Like Iron Man, Spider-Man, like all those characters had like cartoons dating back to like the 60s. Like people know of those characters even if they don't know who they really are.
Yeah.
Eternals is like a property that's out there, like nobody even knew. I think and then it's a counterpart in DC. That movie got canceled.
The New Gods,
New Gods, yeah, which are usually no shots, but better than the Eternals. So that got canceled. DC didn't have faith in that, and Marvel still had faith in the Eternals. I was like, wow.
Which is funny considering they didn't have like when they released Inhumans, and then that they didn't have any faith in that, and to the point that because it's supposed to be a movie, but then it was like nah, put that as a TV series.
Yeah, they knew. Yeah.
And so for them to put all their eggs in the basket for Eternals, that's
like you said eggs in the basket. It's a star-studded cast, and the best thing about the movie I would say is the acting from the actors. Like they put on the show. They put on a fucking show. It's crazy because you have some of the actors, like it's so many big actors, and like I don't want to say anybody's in a minor role, but like these are big actors that have carried their own movies, and it's like they're not necessarily in the forefront of the movie, you know.
No, this is definitely an ensemble movie with an ensemble cast. Like usually when you have a movie with a large cast and everything like that, you can always tell like there's always like one person who's always just going to be at that forefront where the rest of the characters are, you know, they're basically side characters. And yes, you have that to a certain extent where Gemma Chan, Cersei, is definitely the lead and the driving force in this movie. But for the most part, all of these characters get their own time and get their own weight. And for the most part, at least for me, I ended up pretty much loving damn near all of the characters in the Eternals. Like I feel like none of them felt, well, no, there's one. I feel like Makari is the one. I think she was the one that didn't get the much.
I think that you felt that way because she doesn't speak.
I don't know. I don't think so, because think about how much screen time her character got compared to all the other ones. She had the least amount. Like you saw her in like flashbacks. Yeah. But then when they jumped to the present, she was like, you saw all the other Eternals, but she was gone until like the end of the movie.
True.
I'm like, is that a spoiler? No, not really. No, it's not a spoiler.
It's a warning.
You don't get much from Makari. Like she's the one out of all the Eternals that I felt like
the least of. Yeah. She's Hawkeye in Avengers 1.
Pretty much. Like I would have liked to have seen more from her. So maybe we would get more in the second movie. But like, all of them. And like you mentioned, this is a packed
like Avengers 1.
Packed cast with like Selma Hayek, Angelina Jolie, Brian Tyree Henry, what's his face? I can't think of his name. That plays
the Stark brothers.
The Stark brothers. John and Rob Stark. I can't think of their name. I don't know why I'm drawing a blank on their names.
Everybody knows it. Everybody watches Game of Thrones.
Yeah, but which, you know, Game of Thrones season 8. I'm still not over that. Like it makes me not want to go back and watch the other seasons. But yeah, like the acting was great, and that's something that's I would say about this movie that's very different than a lot of the other MCU movies, in the sense of this movie was very, very heavily character driven.
Definitely.
And I like that, especially considering how big the cast is. Like,
yeah, I guess this is not really a spoiler, but it's like another warning. Like you said, it's character driven. Like I would say the bad guys of the film, the deviants, aren't really like too prominent. It's more about the characters than it is about the bad guys.
yes.
Definitely.
And some people might not like that. Some people might.
Somebody might
that.
say, "Oh, a weak Marvel villain again."
so going into like, don't go into Eternals like really expecting a superhero movie. Yeah. Obviously, of course, by the end you get to like the third act. Of course, with all Marvel movies, they got to do the big third act. But for the most part, like this movie is very different than damn near all the other Marvel movies, and this movie has a lot of firsts that a lot of the other Marvel movies don't have. Like, for example, and it's not a spoiler because they talked about it online. Chloe Zhao talked about it online, but this is the first Marvel movie to actually have a sex scene, which shocked the hell out of me.
I didn't know about it until we saw it, and I was just like, okay,
I didn't know about it until we saw it.
I'm taking my daughter to see this.
But after the premiere, Chloe Zhao talked about the reasoning and her including the sex scene. And so I was like, well, she's talking about it online. It's good. I could talk about it here. But
what was the reason? I thought that
to
the
show them
maybe just wanted it.
to show them being more human. Like, I mean, and it's like, and I don't have a problem. Like, I wish more Marvel movies would have a set. Not even just because I'm a perv, because I am a perv, but like, just
you're a perv.
That's what I said. I am. But even beyond that, it's like, obviously the Eternals aren't human, but like these characters are human. Of course they have sex. You don't think Iron Man is having sex? Like they didn't even have a
and that's what I said to you in the movie theater. So like, damn, they didn't even have a sex scene in Iron Man.
Yeah, no, they didn't have a sex scene in Iron Man. Then not only that, like it makes me go back and think of like the whole controversy that happened over at DC, where I'm gonna try to say this in a way that doesn't get me demonetized, but Batman not petting the kitty with his tongue. And I'm saying,
but
that,
DC also did the Watchmen movie.
He doesn't do that.
DC also did the Watchmen movie, and that sex scene was painful to watch.
Yeah, well, it was.
Yeah,
but I'm just mostly talking about like, they're like.
I just think Marvel, in terms of being like they're so big with kids and everybody. I was really surprised to see a sex scene.
Yeah, because it's Disney at the end of the day. Like Disney
doesn't do that. It's not like there's graphic nudity, but it's just like these two people are clearly having sex.
Yeah, like so just to say, like the scene, because for those that do have kids and everything like that, like it's not like rated R, or if you guys have watched True Blood or even Lovecraft Country, it's not that graphic, but it's not like, oh, they kiss and then they fall on the bed and the lights turn out and it's like, oh, they had sex. No, it is you see them, it is a sex scene. Like you don't see any booty or anything like that, but you can tell that they are naked.
If you're bringing your kid, they're gonna act, and they don't. They're like, okay, what are they doing? Mom, Dad, what are they doing? It's one of those, like, yeah. So more than kissing.
That caught me off guard, but I like that, like considering the adult themes and everything like that in this movie, like, and then the relationship between Cersei and Icarus. I'm like, it made sense for the movie, and I'm glad they didn't shy away from that.
And it is PG-13, right?
Yes, it is PG-13.
Yeah, I just think we've been to a lot of Marvel movies or movies that are PG-13 where it really wasn't, explaining or guide your kid through the movie,
And the funny thing about it is, like, I find it interesting that people are more willing to let their kids see violence, because like in Avengers Endgame, PG-13, Thanos got his head chopped off. People don't have a problem with that. People would take people to see Deadpool, which is kids to see Deadpool, which is rated R. But yet they'll have a problem with seeing a sex scene, and I'm like, sex is natural. Sex is natural. Killing, decapitating a zombie or Thanos, that's not natural.
You're right, and I never thought of it that way. And I'm a parent, and I don't know why I feel that way, but I feel the same way you said. Like if there's a sex scene, I'm covering eyes. If somebody's getting their head cut off, I'm like, look. Yeah, you're absolutely right though.
But yeah, that's just the way society is. But like, also, like, in terms of like, first, like I would say, like, out of all the Marvel movies, this is the best shot Marvel movie.
So the cinematography, the
cinematography is like top tier. Like I said, this is the best shot Marvel movie out of all of them.
I don't want to give him credit, but when I think of comic book movies and cinematography, I think of Zack Snyder, and it's like that level.
Yeah, like
wise.
Zack Snyder's, I would say his cinematography is
the
great.
only thing I ever give him points for.
Yeah, but that's what I was about. I was like, his cinematography is great. Like he knows how to shoot a movie. Like like even as terrible as I thought Batman v Superman was, it looked great. But his problem is just storytelling. And so. But in terms of cinematography, this movie look like, I didn't see No Man's Land, but I know Chloe Zhao won an Oscar for that. But you could definitely see like her aesthetic in terms of like the cinematography. Like it was great. So I love that. Like I like seeing Marvel movies take chances and do different things, and this movie definitely did that in spades. So yeah. Excuse me. Now, I will say though, like, actually, no, I'm gonna stick with positives first, because because we can go into that. We can go into that later.
What's crazy is I want to jump to the negatives right away, because we just said the acting was crazy good, the cinematography was crazy good. So what could be wrong with the movie? You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, we'll get to that. I want to stick with the positives first.
Yeah.
And so also another thing about this movie, which is something I was actually nervous about, especially talking about Marvel doing a lot of first, the queer representation in this movie with Phaetos, played by Brian Tyree Henry, and they already talked about articles and everything like that. He's the character is married. He has a kid. I did not hate the queer representation in this movie. I thought it was pretty good. I thought it was pretty good. It wasn't like it wasn't like the best thing ever. Like, oh man, like they didn't get a sex scene.
I mean, you're right. You speaking with it, but it's the most I've ever seen. You know what I mean?
That's what I was just about to say.
And I'm saying for it to be in a Marvel movie, that almost everybody's going to see. It was a big deal.
And I feel like it wasn't like ham-fisted in there to the point
that it was very natural.
Well, not even just that, but I was like, it wasn't so insignificant that if it was cut out like what they did with Star Wars, how they had like a 3-second moment that you can instantly cut out of the movie and you don't lose anything from it. I feel like you can't cut out the relationship between Phaetos and his husband. Like if they were to have this movie released in China,
it's a part of his personality. It's a part of his.
It's a part of his personality. It's a part of his story. It's a part of his whole, character. So that can't be cut. And so I appreciate that. I didn't hate it. And then one thing I was strongly fearing a moment, because there was a moment in the trailer where you see Phaetos crying, and Selma Hayek's Ajax, she's consoling him, and I was like, please, dear God, I hope they're not going to kill his husband and pull a bury your gays trope.
Oh my God!
And that was a fear of mine.
A gay fridge.
Basically, that's what I thought they were going to do. And without spoilers, but suffice to say that fear did not come true. And like I said, the queer representation in this movie for a Marvel movie specifically, I didn't hate it. I enjoyed it, and I was like, for a Marvel movie, I was impressed.
Yeah. And then the fact
sad that it took this long, but
Ajax was the leader of the Eternals, and Salma Hayek is a person of color. Like, it's a well-rounded cast.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of the cast, like Kamani Nanjiani. I can't think of his name, but the guy that played Gilgamesh, Asian actor.
I love him.
Me too.
We didn't get there yet, but he's my favorite.
Selma Hayek.
Yeah.
Phaetos, Brian Tyree Henry. Like there were a lot of people of color leads in this cat. Gemma Chan. Like it's funny, and funny enough, like we got 2 movies this year with an Asian lead.
Yeah.
Shang-Chi and Eternals with Gemma Chan.
Yeah.
So, hopefully they keep up that trend with regards to, because I know we're getting a lot in terms of the Disney Plus shows, but in terms of the movies, like, hopefully phase 4 is proven to be the diversity diversity phase. Well, after all that praising for the Eternals and everything like that, let's get into some of our problems with with the movie. So yeah, you want to
plot holes everywhere. Everywhere. You can't walk 5 feet without falling into a plot hole. The things that have happened in the Marvel universe already,
it ain't that bad, but
it's not that bad. It's not that bad. But
I was like, you can't say stuff like that on the internet. They'd be like, oh, the movie was terrible.
No, because we just told you.
Yeah, the movie wasn't terrible.
Great.
Yeah, let me get that out the way. The movie was not terrible, but it was not great. Like it wasn't like
the fact that it's a part of a bigger story, and it didn't reference the bigger story enough for me.
Yeah, like people have been asking me at work, like, "Oh, you saw the Eternals? What did you think?" My exact reaction was like, "I'm like, it was all right."
Yeah, but it's all right at certain things. Something is really great at.
Yeah.
And then
that's what I said. Like the cinematography, best of all the Marvel movies. And yeah, sometimes you gotta put a caveat when you say certain things like that, because there's no like middle ground on the internet. Yeah. It's like it's either awesome or it's terrible. If you say it's all right, that means it was garbage. It's like, no, it wasn't garbage. It was. I would say Eternals probably would not be in my top 5 of Marvel movies, but definitely maybe my top 10.
Top 10?
Maybe. I gotta think about it, but it's not gonna
be top 15 for me, because I'm a Spider-Man stan, so all two Spider-Man movies.
I was gonna say we only had 2.
Yeah, but I know the third one's gonna be in it too. Maybe it is top 10 though. Maybe.
So it's definitely not in like Thor the Dark. Yeah, it's not in like Thor the Dark World territory or anything definitely like that.
No.
So you got to put those caveats out there when it comes to the internet. They're like, oh, you thought it was all right. That means it's terrible. No, it wasn't terrible. Mm-hmm. It's just, but yeah, go back to what you said. Talk about what you were saying.
Yeah, and then it's plot holes. If you're like a movie fan, there's things that you're expecting, and if you're a comic book fan, there's things you're expecting too. Like they didn't reference Thanos at all. Like not enough. You know,
no,
him being an Eternal in the comics.
And I thought they were going to go into that. Like there was this whole big thing. Like they were talking about how Athena is Thanos' cousin, but they don't talk about that at all. The only time they reference Thanos is what you saw in the trailer when they were like, how come you guys didn't fight Thanos and all the other world? That's the only time they mentioned Thanos.
And they made a point to put that in the trailer, so you think that there's more, but
yeah, but there's not. Like
it's not.
And yeah, guys, for those of you that don't know, in the comics, like and also in the movies, because they say it's his cousin, Thanos is an Eternal. So this movie is called The Eternals. You would think they would deal with that, but
I thought there would be like some kind of flashback to Thanos,
or to Athena, because that's her cousin. So like, how does she feel about her cousin wiping out half the population? Also, did any of the Eternals disappear when? Probably not. They didn't even talk about that. So yeah, that was a missed opportunity there. But
I think like when we get into like further in the movie, when you talk about like the Eternals' purpose and stuff like that theme was kind of might be kind of out there for like a lot of MCU fans. Like we get into like bigger expansion of like the Marvel universe. Like when you go back to Loki and the TVA. You start dealing with like even higher levels of consciousness in the Marvel universe, and I don't know if this doesn't relate to it enough, or and then the snap itself, it took out half the universe, and the Eternals, like it seems like their purpose in the movie would have been to stop Thanos, and they didn't, so that was a plot hole to me.
Yeah, well, I mean, they did say like, oh, we were told not to interfere.
Yeah, but
that's in the trailer. I would say, but that's in the trailer. Like we were told not to interfere unless deviants were involved.
Yeah, but Thanos is a deviant in the comics.
Well, he's a deviant and an Eternal. So yeah, technically, technically they should.
So a lot of my me being upset might come from me being a comic book fan. So take it with a grain of salt.
But like, well, not even, because part of me also feels like, because I know certain stuff is coming, like it's not like I'm attached to Eternals lore. I've never read Eternals or whatever. I just know of them from comics, but I've never actually read anything. But because I know things like the X-Men are coming, the Fantastic Four are coming, the way they, in terms of the narrative of the origin of the Eternals, they So I'll do it this way, since no spoilers. In the comics, the way the Eternals came about was the Celestials came to Earth and they experimented on humans, and they created. So Eternals are originally humans. So humans became the Eternals, but then humans mutated to also become the Deviants, which are the Eternals villains. But then the Celestials also created the X gene. So all of that originated from humans. But in this movie, they completely changed all of that.
Yeah.
And part of me kind of feels like the change was unnecessary. Again, especially knowing that X-Men are coming, knowing that Galactus is coming, like some of the explanation that they did for the Celestials. I was like, but wait, but how does that make sense with Galactus coming?
Yeah, there was a point in the movie, like I'm not spoiling, but not spoiling it by telling you something that's not happening, I guess. But there's a point in the movie where I looked over the mic and I was like, yo, is that the X gene? Like, are we getting X-Men from this? And no, this is not how they're going to introduce the X-Men. I'll tell you that.
And I know some people that are probably listening like that maybe don't have the connection to they probably won't care about none of this. Like,
yeah, you're right. Yeah.
It doesn't really affect them. But but for me and obviously for you, like that kind of, I was like, what is this is stupid. Like what doesn't make any sense. Like we know Fantastic Four are coming. So how did
yeah, like I said, they introduced a lot of big concepts, and there's like not enough explanation for them especially if you're just an MCU fan. There's not enough explanation.
And so with that, to try to talk about it more from a non-comic book perspective, I do also feel like because of the scope of this movie and how long the Eternals have been on Earth, which is like 7,000 years according to the trailer, like I do feel like, and this is also the second longest movie out of all of the MCU. The longest movie is Avengers Endgame at 3 hours and like 1 minute. And then this movie is like 2 hours and 37 minutes. And
Endgame is 3 hours without credits?
I think so.
Wow.
Yeah, I believe so.
Might be.
And so yeah, this movie is 2 hours and 37 minutes. And because of the scope of the Eternals, because of the longevity of the Eternals, they're called the Eternals, like I feel like they relied very heavily on flashbacks. And there were a lot of moments. So because of that, like it's almost kind of like you were telling us instead of showing us because of the flashback. So there was a lot of like exposition and speeding through certain moments that you probably would like to have seen. You would like to have seen more of.
Yeah, it could have been a whole different movie, a whole nother movie.
Yeah, it could have been a whole different movie. And so because of that, there were certain like pacing issues with that, with the over reliance on flashbacks and then jumping back to the present, then jumping back to a flashback, then jumping back to a present. Like, so yeah, that made it a little.
Yeah, like especially dealing with the Eternals like in the past. And you have characters like named Athena and Phaistos, like, you know, kind of like Greek gods and stuff like that. I felt they could have done a whole movie just in the past, like maybe the first, like kind of like the first Avengers or the first heroes were gods. It could have been a Marvel movie. Could have introduced maybe Hercules or somebody else as maybe as an Eternal, something like that. It could have been.
And that's another thing. Like we know Hercules is coming too because Zeus was announced in Thor: Love and Thunder.
Yeah. So
I'm like, if you're gonna do Zeus, you're definitely gonna do Hercules.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Yeah.
Yeah. We're speaking like comic book fans.
Yeah. But because yeah, I'm trying to judge it in a way that for like non-comic book readers, and like how would they probably feel about. I mean, overall, like I do feel like I said, like the cinematography, the acting, and everything like that, the score was all great. But yeah, I just feel like, and the characters,
the visuals were great. The powers.
Funny enough, like I didn't expect to come out of this movie like, even because I wasn't paying attention to this character, but like coming out like, oh, I really love the character of Druig.
Yeah, exactly. And that's like a Guardians of the Galaxy thing. Like I said before, you introduce his character, and it's like out of nowhere. Like some people see the preview and they're like, "What the hell is a Rocket Raccoon?" But now so many people.
Yeah, now everybody loves Rocket. Yeah. Now everybody loves Rocket Raccoon. It's the same thing I feel about like, the character Druig. Like there are characters that you won't expect to go in loving that you do, and characters that you probably expect to come in loving that you end up probably not. So
yeah, and like Mike said about earlier about shoot, like the sex scene was for humanizing. They, even though the Eternals were like above humans, they definitely humanized them a lot. Like there's a character with PTSD. There's some sexism issues. There's a gay couple. You know, like they're definitely human. So
yeah, character that ends up getting dementia.
yeah, there's a character with it's a deaf character. You know, so and
So
I think that's a big deal because that character, I forget her name, she is an Eternal. She's probably deaf by choice, which is kind of different, you know.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And speaking of that, like, funny enough, I do find it very curious. What's the word I'm trying to find? The choice to, because I do feel, and we talked about this before, but like you talk about the Eternals, they're powerful, cosmic, immortal beings. But I'm like, they felt kind of weak in this movie. Like, I feel like Captain Marvel and Wanda could roll up and take out all the Eternals.
Yeah, solo.
Captain Marvel could probably solo them all by herself. And I'm like, but these are supposed to be the Eternal. Like, they should wipe the floor with Carol Danvers. But in this movie, funny, nah.
They crack a lot of jokes about the Avengers in the movie, but they stand no chance against the Avengers. So like,
yeah, like I'm like, why are they so weak?
yeah. I forget all their names, but there's one of the Eternals talked about hanging out with Thor when he was younger, right? Because he's 7,000 years old, and it's just like, yeah, but you don't. He doesn't compare to Thor at all in terms of power. So
no, you talking about Icarus?
No, not Icarus. The Indian character.
Oh, Kingo.
Kingo, yeah.
And that's another character that I ended up coming out of the movie loving. Kimani Nanjiani, I feel like his Kingo character, I feel like he's definitely the heart of the Eternals.
Yeah, he was definitely,
and
as a Ninja Turtle fan, he was definitely the Michelangelo.
Yeah, and he still like every scene that he's in. And part of that is like his comedy roots. So he brought the MCU comedy in this movie, but it wasn't in a way that sometimes, because sometimes with MCU they introduce like comedic moments and you're just like like that didn't really. No, for the most part, every single moment with Kamani Nanjiani's Kingo, like it landed with me. I really
and
I really enjoy his character.
Like the cat, I guess why I say Ninja Turtles, because the characters were like a family, so he'd be like the funny guy and your family, like recording stuff and making jokes and roasting everybody. He was actually really good. He's probably my second favorite character.
And I thought they did a great job with the casting of all of these characters. And funny enough, like I like one of my also favorite characters is who's not an Eternal is freaking damn it, why can't I think of his actual real name?
Snow?
Jon Snow. I don't know why I can't think of his actual name. It doesn't matter what his name is.
Jon Snow.
Yeah, but him, like I really liked his character, his relationship and dynamic with Cersei, and the little bit he wasn't in it a lot, but the little bit that he was in it, I was like, I would like to see more from this character. And it's not a spoiler to say because they talked about it, but for those of you that don't know, his character, not in this particular movie, but he ends up becoming the superhero known as the Black Knight, and they kind of teased a little bit of that in this movie. So I'm definitely curious to see and excited to see where his character goes from here, because like I said, I like the moments that was there with his character. Like, how did you feel about Jon Snow, which I can't think of his name.
Yeah, Jon Snow.
I'm about to Google it.
And I think the fact that he got casted as Black Knight after playing Jon Snow is also hilarious. And the fact
Jon Snow being a knight.
Brother, he was good in the scenes that he was in. It was more like his relationship with Cersei, but he was very good in the scenes he was in. And
Kit Harington. There we go. Kit Harington.
And then I don't want to get to the ending. I'm not going to talk about it, but the ending of the film just
we're talking negatives. Yeah.
Okay. The ending of the film leaves me on a negative. Like that. I think that the very end. I mean, when I say the end, I mean the last 5 seconds of the film. I don't want to even say it's a cliffhanger. It's like, what's worse than a cliffhanger?
Blue balls. Left you with blue balls.
Yeah, blue balls.
Not even just that, but like again, it's kind of the same.
I think that would have been better if that last 5 seconds was a post-credit scene, and if that makes sense, and the movie ended before that.
But no, it's kind of the same problem I had with like the Shang-Chi with like the ending because it got so big. Like I'm like, I wish it would have ended on a smaller scale. But like for this movie, I guess because they are the Eternals, it got to be big. But like the way it ended, like the moment between Cersei and the other thing, and how that came about, I was like,
that's a post-credit scene.
Well, no, not even just that, but I'm like, but that made no sense.
Yeah, at all.
Like how she did what she did. I was like, that made absolutely no sense. That was still like, you could tell it was like, okay, the movie's got to wrap up. Like,
yeah, how are we gonna do this?
Yeah, how are we gonna do this? And I was like, wait, what? Especially when they tried to explain how she ended up doing that. And I was like, that makes no sense.
Yeah, and the fact that she had sort of did it before without that same,
And they never talked about it. They didn't hint at it beforehand. It just happened. I know people are probably like, what are y'all talking about?
All right, imagine somebody going Super Saiyan without the training, or the trauma, I'll put it like that. Like just randomly, I'm really strong now, or I'm strong because of this,
I mean, because I'm like, well, that did happen with Goten.
Yeah, but no, Goten?
Yeah, Goten.
You mean Gohan?
No, Goten. Remember when Gohan and Goten were training?
Oh, Goten just went exactly out of nowhere.
He just went Super Saiyan.
yeah, definitely. Yeah,
out of nowhere. But that's basically what happens. Like,
did they confirm that the Ten Rings is getting a Disney Plus show?
No, but that's the rumor.
That's the rumor. Okay.
Yeah, but the rumor in the sense that they kind of winked and nodded, like, oh yeah, maybe, like, oh, react. I would love.
They probably started the rumor and try to see how people react, and then
Yeah, but more than likely, I think, especially with the way Shang-Chi, and spoilers for Shang-Chi. I mean, I'm not gonna say what, but basically for the way Shang-Chi ended, I think Xialing and the Ten. I think they're gonna get a Disney Plus. Yeah. But I wasn't a fan of how the Eternals ended. Like
the whole third act, or maybe I want to say maybe fourth act. And there's only 3 acts in the movie, but the third act is so long that it's kind of like 2.
Yeah, because the movie's 2 hours and like 37 minutes.
So if there's a fourth act, it's the fourth act that kind of does it, like leaves it flat for me.
And then also like what they ended up doing with a certain character. I don't know if I was a fan of that.
Yeah, several characters, yeah.
Only because I'm like, because the actor is great or whatever. And plus, that's not the way his character is in the comic. And so for them to deviate so far from that, and then like the way what happened to that character, like, so I'm like, oh, so we're not gonna get.
Yeah.
Is that it? Like,
yeah, that's you're creeping on spoiler.
Yeah, I'm creeping on spoiler territory. But yeah, I don't know if I was a fan of that. I was like, why watch it? And then also like, I feel like they had so much buildup in terms of the trailer for the Deviants. The Deviants are the main villain, and they even show in the trailer, like, you see one Deviant that's like caressing Angelina Jolie's face.
Yeah, so
and
you think that's gonna have some kind of interaction?
Yeah, they have some kind of chemistry, or maybe they had a past or whatever, or that character is gonna be a character, and ultimately, like, they have all this buildup for this character and this special Deviant, only for it to go nowhere, and then they veer off and like they swerve off to the left and start telling another story with another character, and then you're kind of like, so then what was the point of all this? What was the point of me becoming invested in this Deviant, only for him to ultimately become irrelevant? Yeah, like that didn't make any. That to me,
most Marvel villains. And that's what people are going to be upset about.
Yeah, that didn't make any sense. There, I didn't like that. That didn't make any sense to me, and I thought that was.
But I think an interesting part of this movie, treading on spoiler territory. You like, there's like a question of who is the villain in the movie. So there's that. Yeah, but there's a better way that they could have done that. Because like that deviant plot line that they wasn't even neat. Like, you could still have the deviants, but that special deviant that they had, like,
there was no purpose because it ended up not leading to anything. Like take that character out of the movie and you lose nothing.
You're absolutely right.
So it was like, what was the point? What was the point of me following this character for 2.5 hours only for it to not lead anything? So that was a poor handling of the script. I think you and I's biggest problems with the movies is mostly just from a comic book perspective. But like, it's not that I didn't hate Eternals. I would totally see Eternals again. Like when it comes out for everybody, I'm definitely gonna see it. I'm probably more than likely because I'm not gonna go
post-credit scenes.
Well, yeah, I was gonna say we'll get to that too, because I was gonna say I'm not gonna see it opening weekend because I work on the weekend, but my next on my next day off, I would definitely see it again. So yeah, with that going into that, so for our screener in New York City, because Chloe Zhao mentioned that there are 2 post-credit scenes for the Eternals, and both of them are pretty major. At the LA premiere, they showed the post-credit scenes, but at our screener, they did not show the post-credit scene. Once the movie ends, they let the credits roll, and right where the post-credit scene is supposed to start, the IMAX logo popped up, and it said "Thank you for watching the movie." And I was like, no, not even just me, but the whole audience, the whole theater was like, "What the?" We like, wait, is it like this? Was that a mistake? And then I looked on Twitter. It turns out that they only showed the post-credit scenes at the official London premiere. They didn't show it at any other screener, which
it is somebody leaked it anyway. So
I was gonna say because guys, if you don't want to get spoiled for like Eternals or anything like that, I made a YouTube short about this earlier. But like, yeah, mute the Eternals and Eternals on Twitter because official, not even like people like content creators, like people like we do, people that aren't paid, that aren't official. No, it was official Variety journalists that came out of the LA premiere and basically spoiled the entire post-credit scene. I didn't see
almost a whole month before the movie comes out.
Yeah, I didn't see the tweet, so I still don't know what the post-credit scene is. But a lot of people got spoiled that they didn't even see the movie. They didn't even get to go to a screener, and they got spoiled to what the post-credit scene is. And I've heard, like I said, I've been told like that is major. Like somebody I know that went to the LA premiere that saw the post-credit scene, she was like, no, it's pretty big. So I'm like, fuck. Oh, what? I'm like, what is it?
Now we gotta hide until we see the movie again.
Yeah, I'm like, I want to know what it is. But with that said, like, don't mute the Eternals on Twitter so you're not spoiled. Because I don't want to be spoiled. I want even though I saw the movie, I still want to see the post-credit scene for myself. And so but I don't know. Do you have any other negatives besides Phaetos's random ass powers?
Yeah, Phaetos a whole Green Lantern.
They don't explain how that works.
Yeah. I did enjoy seeing his parenting. Like there's a scene where he's teaching his child to be like a pacifist, and Angelina Jolie's like, we beat people up, and he's like, no, we don't do that. That's very real. He was one of my favorite characters too.
And I liked Angelina. Funny enough, I liked Angelina Jolie.
Thena.
Yeah, Thena's character too, and like what they ended up building with her character and her relationship with Gilgamesh, who let me see. I think I got the actor's name pulled up. Don Lee. Like I liked his character too. Like, or even like I said, I liked all the characters, even Sprite, the person that plays Sprite. Like all of these characters were strong. So I will say for that, it was, but like, for a superhero movie and everything, like, I don't think it was as good as like, this movie definitely wasn't as good as like the Winter Soldier.
Oh no, Winter Soldier's number one. I mean,
Winter Soldier's definitely number one. Guardians of the Galaxy might be like number two. Infinity War probably number three, might be three.
You like Infinity War? Yeah. Infinity War definitely over Endgame.
Infinity War definitely over Endgame.
Yeah.
But I gotta think about it. Yeah.
Yeah. Top 10 is hard at this point. There's been so many movies that she want to throw in there. Like Shang-Chi might crack my top 10. I really like Shang-Chi.
Yeah, Shang-Chi.
Shang-Chi.
Yeah, Shang-Chi would probably be in my top 10. But I would have to really think about it. But yeah, for me, like, even though there was a lot to really enjoy about Eternals, like I didn't walk out of it saying like, "Oh my god, it was amazing! It was the best."
You know
thing
why?
ever.
Because at the very end is when they fucked us. Like the very like maybe
yeah.
Yeah.
And like if you know how to say if you don't stick the landing,
yeah,
then everything else is like
yeah.
And then also not even just that, but like the hype that was around this movie, like with Kevin Feige coming out saying, "Oh yeah, the Eternals is like the best movie we've ever made."
It's not. It's good though.
It might be the best. It's the best shot movie, probably.
Yeah, definitely. The best looking movie they ever made.
Yeah, it's definitely the best looking movie they've ever made. So I guess part of that hype too. So maybe that's why I kind of like, because I went into this movie with like high expectations because Kevin Feige's coming out like, this movie's gonna be awesome.
I think he just said that because it's a lesser known property. You got to get people in the seats, especially like coming off a pandemic too. Like, when did Guardians of the Galaxy? What movie did they come out after? Did they come out after a big Marvel movie?
The first Guardians of the Galaxy?
Yeah. What came out right before that? Did it come out right after Avengers or something? Because like fucking Iron Man.
I don't remember.
Iron Man 2 came out. No, Iron Man 3 came out right after Avengers and made $1 billion.
Yeah.
And that was just off the strength of Iron Man.
Yeah, that was off the strength of Avengers.
Yeah, it had really nothing to do with Iron Man 3. No shots, but that's the truth. Yeah. So it could have been that, so. And this is following Shang-Chi, so we'll see.
But which one, because I'm thinking about it myself, which one did you like more, Shang-Chi or Eternals?
Shang-Chi.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. I'm like, but there's a lot in Eternals that I like better than
There's a lot that I love, yeah.
In Shang-Chi.
Like you just said, they just didn't stick the landing, and that was it. Like, it's like having a good meal and dessert is whack, or it's an aftertaste or something.
I was gonna say, or it tastes good when you first bite it, but then that aftertaste, you're just like, ugh.
Yeah, and it only lasts like a second, but you tasted it.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah. So I like I said, I didn't hate the movie, but I wanted to love the movie. I didn't love the movie, but yeah, I thought it was okay. So I would say for me, in my rating system, I would say the Eternals is probably maybe a low hit.
So my rating system would be like a B+.
So B+ for me would be a high hit. So for me, so it's So my ratings is a blockbuster, hit, breaking even, miss, or flop.
I go through the whole grade scale. So there's A+ all the way through F. I guess I can't give it F-.
No. So I would give it like a B-.
Okay.
For if your rating.
Yeah.
You didn't say what's yours. Yeah.
B+. Yeah, B+.
Oh yeah, you did say B+.
Yeah. I liked it. It wasn't everything, Probably it's also probably because I'm expecting Spider-Man, and I'm expecting that. My expectations for Spider-Man are like they have to give me what I want, or it's gonna be garbage in my mind.
And they still haven't even dropped like posters, or they're really trying to hide.
Yeah, and they pushed all the Marvel movies back except for Spider-Man. They didn't push Spider-Man back, so it's definitely dropping around Christmas. And that's like 2 months from now,
which is like right around the corner.
Yeah, with no poster of Tobey Maguire, Andrew Garfield.
Yeah, we have subscribers. but we know they're coming. Wasn't there a toy that released that said like a variant of Spider-Man?
Mm-hmm.
It said variant on the toy.
Yeah, I think that their roles are going to be very small. I think that we might see multiple Tom Hollands in the movie instead of like variant Spider-Man. But they're just all going to be Tom Holland. Like those different suit Spider-Mans that we got, there might be like 3 different Tom Hollands in the film. If that makes sense.
I mean, I think their role is going to be as big as like Iron Man and Far From Home. And I also have a theory that the reason this movie is called No Way Home is because Tom Holland, with all this talk about the multiverse, Tom Holland ends up being stuck in the Sonyverse, and Sony gets to continue on with Tom Holland, and then he can't return back to the Marvel Cinematic No Way Home. He's out of the Marvel Cinematic Universe.
Does everybody come with him, or is it just him?
It's him and his characters.
Okay, he could deal with that. That's what happened to Miles.
Yeah, but he ended up in the mainstream.
Yeah, but that's not his original universe.
No, but still, it's a better universe.
I'm saying it's the same thing.
But the Sony's
better.
The Sony verse is the better universe. Like we want Spider-Man, but because of that whole because remember in 2019 there was a whole thing about Marvel might lose the rights to Spider-Man. I'm like, yeah, there's probably one more movie.
So you think he's gonna go to the Sony verse and then he's gonna say something about Iron Man?
Especially spoilers.
Who's Iron Man?
Spoilers for the post-credit scene to Venom, but like, especially because of the post-credit scene for Venom. Like,
but I thought Venom went there and not.
Yeah, but he's gonna probably go back, so he might drag Tom Holland with him.
We'll see. Whatever they do, hopefully they're actually good movies. I just don't have a lot of faith in Sony. Hopefully they're actually good movies.
Yeah, I hope so too.
Yeah, but
yeah, I mean, I don't think I have anything else to say about Eternals. I'm already getting sleepy.
Oh, those costumes look great on screen.
The costumes did look great.
I saw the action figures is the first thing I ever saw with the costumes. I'm like, ew.
Yeah, the action figures, the Marvel Legends figures look terrible.
Yeah, terrible. But on screen, them costumes look pretty dope.
Yeah, they did look pretty. They did look pretty good. So, but I am kind of curious to see how these Eternals will interact with the event, because, like I said, yeah, they're weak compared to the other Avengers. Like, why would we need the Eternals when I got Captain Marvel?
But with that ending, you don't even know what's happening to the Eternals. That ending, yo.
Yeah, it was weird. It was weird. But also with that, we don't know, because like we ended up in a screener that didn't get the post-credit scene. We might have a different, that might not actually be the official ending. So
that's what I was saying too. Like, yo, did we get a fake ending? Like, because it made no sense.
Oh, and it did end pretty abruptly. Like, it was like, wait, that's the end? Like, what? That don't make
no sense.
No. Well, yeah, but I don't have, like I said, I don't have anything else to say about the turn, and I'm getting sleepy. I got off work like 3 hours ago. I'm ready to go to bed. So
you gonna come back for the spoiler review later?
I mean, yeah, we could come back for the spoiler, but yeah, the movie's not out for
another week
till next week. But yeah, we could come back for the spoiler review and talk and act and do it live. We'll do it live.
You figure out what you're doing Halloween or not?
I'm gonna go. My coworker is having a party in Harlem, so I think I might go there. Whack. What are you doing?
I told you I'm going to Webster Hall.
What the fuck is Webster Hall?
All right, New
Jersey. I've never even heard of that. What is that?
It's famous dance hall in Lower East Side.
Oh, well, clearly it ain't that famous because I ain't never heard of it.
It's famous. You should know it. You gay too.
I'm like, is it a gay dance hall? Like,
they be out there.
I don't know. Well, whatever. But anyway, yeah, guys. Once again, if you can hit the thumbs up button and hit it'll really help out with the stream and the YouTube. Oh, actually, Ron, plug yourself again. Tell them what you got going on. If you got anything going on. Didn't you say you got an interview planned or something like that?
I went to New York Comic Con. Mike was there. I had all the interviews I had coming out. Rosen got to edit them. But all my content from New York Comic Con will be posted really soon. Just gotta finish editing it. What's going on Thanksgiving? It's just the holiday season. Probably be doing a lot of dad stuff. So
yeah. And we still got a couple more days left in Blood, Sex, Gore, and Magic Month, which is what I call Halloween. So still other, like, I still got to review. I still got to watch Chucky because I heard that was good. I haven't watched it yet.
It's good.
I know. I'm saying I haven't watched it yet. So
I'm actually rewatching Invincible right now, and it's better on the second watch because you get to see how shady Omni-Man is from the jump. Yeah, like you realize it. Even though like I read the comic before, like it's even worse. Like after watching it, it's like when Mark gets his powers, he's just like, fuck.
Yeah.
Fuck.
Batman: The Long Halloween Part 1 and 2 are on HBO Max, so I need to check that out. Injustice just came out. I need to check that out.
Is that on HBO Max or they want you to buy the DVD?
No, they want you to buy it, which I'm like,
nah, I'll see if I can get the screener for that.
That's why I haven't seen Mortal Kombat Battle of the Realms yet, because I'm like, I'm waiting for it to go. I'm waiting for it to go to HBO Max. Yeah, I used to buy like all the especially DC stuff. I used to buy it, but then I'm like, just put it on HBO Max.
Yeah.
Like most of them are all there now already.
Yeah.
So like, yeah.
I'll email the guy that gives me comic books and see if he can get us the videos. But
once again, because I need to go to sleep. First I'm gonna edit this. I'm gonna edit this. I'm gonna edit this. I'm gonna put it out. Then I'm gonna go to sleep because I work tonight. But yeah, hit the like button. It'll help with the algorithm and everything like that. If it's your first time checking out one about this video on my channel, check out the other videos on my channel. If you like what you see, subscribe for more. Hit that bell notification button so you'll learn it every single time I post a new video. Tell your friends, families, and neighbors. Hide your kids, hide your wife. Tell your friends, families, and neighbors about my channel to help me continue to grow. And with that, thank you for watching the Eternals review. Come back after you see the video. Let me know your thoughts about the movie in this video, and then we're gonna come back and do a live spoiler review. So again, hit the bell notification button so you're alerted when I put up the broadcast and when we're going live. And maybe I'll try to see if I can get Frankie on the live too.
Oh, you know she's busy.
Yeah, you know she's busy. I'm gonna ask her from now. Be like, try to put my appointment in.
Mm-hmm.
She be like, nah, I'm going to Abu Dhabi or some shit.
Abu Dhabi, yeah. Prince want to see her.
I mean, where's she at? Right, she in like Los Angeles. Yeah,
she back in LA now. Yeah,
she in LA right now. Like she be traveling all over the world. She's in high demand. But anyway, guys, thanks for watching, and we out. Peace.